Welcome friends in our SQL Server tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to focus on date function in SQL Server, which is very common function and provide a difference between dates on the basis of years, month, quarters, day, week, minute, second, hours, millisecond, and nanosecond. So this function is very useful if you are going to find out the difference between two dates. So it will take three parameters. One is the basis of the difference, maybe year, quarter, month, hour, minute, second, nanosecond, and start date and end date. So we are using CT table, that means common table expression. So we are using city with we are going to use select start date. So we are passing some values like as 2018 12 31, that is a year, month, day, then hour, minutes, then seconds, then nanoseconds. Okay, we are getting another date, that is end date, and here we are just copy this and passing this value as a 09 01 01, then 00, okay, and we are closing our city table. Now we are pulling these values from our city table. Select start date, comma, end date, from CTE, that is our table, and execute the query. Now you can see, now I am using the date diff function, date diff, and we are passing interval year, then start date and end date. Now execute the query. Okay, now you can see the difference in years, that is 1. Now we are copy this diff, now passing here as a quarter, now you can see there is a difference in quarters, month, now month. Now you can see it is very easy to use the date difference function in SQL Server to find the difference between two dates. So here we are again with a new function, that is date name function in SQL Server. Suppose that if you have a date and you want to fetch the month name of a given date, or you want to get the day name of a given date, then you can use the date name function to get this kind of information. Here you can see date name function takes two parameters. One is date part and another is date. So I have already created a city table and take a date as a my date. You can see that if I am going to execute this query, so it is given my date. If I want to get month month name of the month, name of month, then how can I get it? So I am going to use date name function and pass the m for month, then my date. So here you can see that is October. If I'm going to change the name as a 11 month, and then sorry, there should be 30 days in November, or sorry, in November. Then you can see that if I'm going to pass 12, then it is going to be December. So if I want to know the name of the day, then of day, then I am using the same date name function, and here I am passing d. Okay, then you can see that is 31. Okay, okay, if I'm going to execute this, then you can see it is running the day. So I need to know the name of my date, then dw and d, and going to execute it. Now you can see that is Thursday. If I'm going to pass it as a 12, then what is the day? That is Sunday. So you can see with the help of date name function in SQL Server, you get the name of the month and name of the day for a given date. So it is very easy. We are going to focus on how to get the previous date or the next date of a date. Suppose that we want to get the previous date for a date. That means for today is 7th May, and we want to know the previous date. It would be the 6th May, and the next date it would be the 8th May. So how can we achieve this in SQL Server? So here we can use the date add function. We are creating a city table with CTE as. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get the current date for today. That select get date, that is a function in SQL Server to provide the current running date as today. Okay, if I am going to pull this query from city, then what would be the result? Okay, then we are going to watch it. Okay, and I'm going to run this query. Then you can see this is the current date. So I am just convert it as a cast as date. Okay, to get the date only. Okay, now if I want to know the previous date. So what I'm going to do, previous or last date equal to, now I'm going to use the date add function. Now that is day, so I need to know the day, and then the interval, it would be, because I am going to previous day, so I am going to use -1 dot the today. Okay, now going to execute this query. Now you can see the previous day. Okay, if I want to next date, then what I'm going to do, just next day, next date. So I'm using the same date add function here, but now I need to remove -1, and I am going to add 1 day in the current date. So I'm going to execute this query again. Now you can see, uh, you can get the next date and next month. If I want to get the next month date, so what I'm going to do, next month date, instead I'm going to get here month. So what I'm going to do, I have just added a 1 month in today's. So I'm going to execute this query. Now you can see that is 7th June. So it is very easy to get the next date or a previous date for a date function in that is date part. So it is a very important function in SQL Server, because if you want to get the number of days for a date, for example, here you can see that I have created a CTE, that is common table expression, and assign some dates, hours, nanoseconds, millisecond, and create a column my date like this. Okay, now if we are going to use the date part, that means it is going to take two parameters. One is date part, another is date. Okay, so I am going to explore years for this date in my date. Years equal to, now I am going to use date part. Okay, if, and I need to know the year, so I am passing year, then my date. Okay, if I am going to execute this, then you can see this is the year. If I am going to change the year like this, then it will return year 2016. If I am going to run 21, then it will return the year 2021. Same here, if I want to know the months, then what I need to do, just here I need to pass month. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so this is the 10th month of year 2021. So I have already created some other examples by using date part function in SQL Server. So here you can see that I am getting the quarter for the year. I am getting the day of the year, and day month of the date, week year of the year, and then the weekdays, date part weekday. Okay, so you can see it is very easy to get a year, month, quarter, day of year, day of month, day, week, years, and weekdays for a given date. Please like, share, and comment, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel.